Thank you for tuning in to the Week 1 podcast for Weight and Wellness. I'm excited to introduce this insightful health information to you, as well as share some of my own personal experiences. My name is Jana Weaver. I'm the GPA Healthy Me and More Coordinator and a registered dietitian nutritionist. I've been in the field of nutrition and wellness for over 14 years, and as a lover of food and former dieter, I understand how difficult it can be to find a balance between health, family, work, and fun. My goal as your guide in this program is to empower you to take control of your decisions about eating and physical activity without restrictive rules. And here with me today is Alex Carter, GPA Wellness Coordinator and a registered dietitian as well. Alex, give us a little bit more information about your background and interest.
Thanks, Jana. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And hello, everybody. Again, my name is Alex Carter, and I am a wellness coordinator here at GPA, as well as a dietitian nutritionist. I have been in the field for just over 4 years, and I've worked in both the clinical setting as well as corporate wellness. I'm excited to share in this journey with all of you guys listening, and really hope that throughout this experience, we'll be able to provide you with a bit of insight into a different way of thinking about health and wellness, and really help each of you reconnect with yourself and your why throughout the next few weeks.
Exactly. So I would like to start today by telling everyone about our why and what made us put this program together in the first place. Alex, if you remember, as we researched and explored, we discovered the method of intuitive eating. As we dug further into this topic, we realized how we could help individuals improve their health by teaching them a sustainable solution instead of deprivation and dieting. Simply put, intuitive eating is not a diet. It is a way of eating that teaches you to eat based on your natural hunger and fullness signals. The basis of Weight and Wellness is all about moving from a focus on dieting and weight to a focus on wellness, intuitive eating, and healthy habits. As we explore what this looks like, we will discuss ways we think about our food, our behavioral patterns, and how intuitive eating can help us have a more balanced approach to our health. Alex, it's so great to have another dietitian here to discuss this topic with. Tell me your thoughts on intuitive eating.
You know, I really love the principles of intuitive eating, and that they're not based on restrictive rules, but rather they're a way to help us become more aware of our own hunger and fullness, and to break the crazy cycle of dieting.
Right? Yes, I agree. And actually, the very first principle from the book Intuitive Eating is all about how to reject the diet mentality. There's scientific research from the National Institutes of Health that shows that short-term dieting programs do produce small amounts of weight loss, but for most individuals, all the weight is gained back and sometimes more within a few years.
So what you're saying is that diets don't work.
Right? Yes, and this is why through Weight and Wellness, we're focused on long-term habits for improving your health rather than a quick dieting fix that may or may not move the scale, right?
And to help everyone understand this further, we've included the 10 principles of intuitive eating in this week's information. I would encourage you all to read through the 10 principles and maybe even print these out and read them aloud once a day during the program as an affirmation.
For sure, yes. And as we move on to this next part, I just want to say, many of you listening have probably heard some of this information before. Intuitive eating is not about getting rid of nutritional values, but more about making peace with food and learning to eat healthy food that is nourishing and free from judgment. For a few minutes, we want to talk about how to choose foods that you prefer while still recognizing that nutrition is important.
Yeah, you know, as a dietitian, I'm constantly approached for meal plans and information on the latest fad diet and nutrition advice. Throughout this program, we want you to try your best to avoid restriction and avoid labeling foods as good or bad, and instead to focus on creating an overall balanced plate and a balanced life in general. Most of the time with meals, this would look like a plate that's half vegetables or fruit, with the other half being a protein with whole grains.
And Alex, I think it's important to note that sometimes your meal may be healthy and nutritious, and other times your meal may be a special dinner out with an entree that you've been craving for months.
Yeah, and a big part of intuitive eating is learning that this is okay and striving to be non-judgmental when it comes to your food choices. We want you to understand that there's no perfect way of eating, and really to try your best to move away from food policing.
Yes, and no more judgment for the dietitians either, right? I remember a time when I was having dinner with a group of friends, and one of the guys looked at me and said, "I can't believe you're eating that. Aren't you a dietitian?" I honestly can't remember what I was eating. I think it was some kind of chocolate dessert or something, which is rare anyway because I would certainly rather have chips and salsa, right? I would like to think I was not offended by his comment, but I guess since I still remember it, I felt judged for sure.
You know, Jana, I think your example is super spot on and will resonate with a lot of our listeners. I'm sure that a lot of people out here have experienced judgment like that from others and worse from themselves. This is just the culture that we live in. It's not easy to overcome and distance yourself from this mentality. However, I hope that all of our listeners will work towards moving towards a more intuitive eating mindset and that they'll be able to find foods that can fit into a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly. And as we move past this judgment and food policing, I think it's important to identify how to track progress and set goals beyond counting calories, avoiding carbs, or looking at the scale. I love this famous quote by Stephen Covey that says, "Begin with the end in mind." Goals are an important tool to help us focus, prioritize, and measure our progress. Personal goals provide the foundation to focus our energy in a positive direction.
So let's talk a little bit about the personal goals for this program.
Yes, for sure. And if you're listening and you have weight concerns, I would ask you to keep an open mind. Be kind to yourself and focus on the bigger picture.
And if weight loss is your goal, we definitely support you in that. But we would encourage you to focus on your habits instead of dieting and the number that's on the scale. Take a minute at the end of this session to write out your goals. Figure out what health means to you. And take some time to reflect on the information we've talked about and to answer the discussion questions from this week.
Okay, so to wrap things up, let's talk about preparation. To apply the information we've shared on intuitive eating, we need to know how to shop and how to prepare to eat mindfully. Alex, will you give me a quick tip for how you accomplish mindful food shopping?
Well, I know we'll go into this in more depth later in the program, but one recommendation that I have is to plan out some of your meals, but do this with flexibility in mind. Consider your schedule, your likes, your dislikes, the overall balance of your diet, and how you can get the whole family involved when working on planning out some of your meals for the week. Take time at the beginning of the week to put together a rough outline of meals. This can help you save time, frustration, and money in the long term. Additionally, this can help you to have a plan for your grocery shopping.
That's great. I love that. Well, for me, it was all about taking shortcuts to make healthy, delicious meals with a limited amount of time. I personally do mostly grocery pickup and buy certain things in bulk to save money so I can balance this with some higher price convenience foods like veggie trays and salad kits. Even though we are on the go like most families, I make it a priority to cook on certain nights each week. I usually prepare 2 meals a week that we can have as leftovers on the other weeknights that I don't have time to spend in the kitchen. Whether you prepare your meals at home or dine out, purchase pre-made meals, or whatever your routine is, I would encourage you to consider the things we've talked about today. Let the information we discussed guide your food choices as you prepare to move from a weight and diet-focused mindset to a happy, non-restricted person focused on healthy habits.
Exactly. And as you go through this program, really take some time to figure out what type of changes are realistic and will be beneficial to you and your well-being. Work towards eating a well-balanced diet, all the while being kind to yourself and non-judgmental when it comes to your food choices. We know that this concept is likely new to you, but we hope that with each week, you'll grab onto the opportunity.
We are so happy that you have decided to join us on this journey. Be sure to complete the remaining steps for this week and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Goodbye.